You know what nobody really tells you about being broke? It's not just the number in your bank account. It's the mental exhaustion. It's checking your balance before ordering coffee. It's doing math in your head in the grocery store aisle. It's turning down plans with friends because you're tired of saying, "I'm broke again," and sounding like a broken record. And everywhere you look, there's advice. Just save more. Cut out lattes. Make a budget. But none of that helps when you're already living on the edge. So today, I want to share the one thing that actually worked for me. Not a complicated financial strategy, not something that assumes you already have money. It's stupidly simple, almost laughably simple, and yet it changes everything. It's called the $20 rule. And before you click away thinking, "That's it?" let me give you some context. In the U.S., nearly 48% of Gen Z is living paycheck to paycheck. That's not because they don't want to save, it's because for every dollar they try to save, they're spending almost two just to survive. Here's the part no one talks about, though. Despite struggling, over 70% of young adults took action last year to improve their finances. They want to save. They're trying to save. They're just stuck because nobody taught them how to build a savings habit starting from zero. Hi, I'm Matt. On this channel, I break down personal finance strategies that actually work for real people, not trust fund kids. If you're tired of generic money advice that assumes you already have disposable income, hit that subscribe button. Now let's talk about why most savings advice fails when you're broke. You've heard of the 50-30-20 rule, right? 50% for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings. It looks great on paper, but in reality, when rent, groceries, gas, insurance, and minimum payments eat up almost everything, there is no 30% for wants. There is 95% for needs and 5% for "me please Don to let my car break down this month." That rule also assumes a stable income, but in 2026, over 70 million Americans are projected to be doing gig work. That's more than 1/3 of the entire workforce. For them, income isn't predictable. One week you might make $200. The next week you make $1,500. So what's 20% of chaos? Exactly. It's a recipe for frustration. So people try automating savings instead. They set up an automatic transfer to their savings account, then pull it right back a few days later when an unexpected bill hits. And what happens next? They feel like a failure. They start thinking, "I just can't save. I'm bad with money." So they stop trying. This isn't a math problem. It's a psychology problem. So here's the rule. It's the entire system. Every single time you get paid, any payment at all, you put $20 into a separate savings account. Your paycheck from your main job, that side hustle, a freelance gig, your DoorDash earnings, an Uber payout, birthday money from grandma, a tax refund, anything. That's it. No percentages, no spreadsheets, no guilt, and no, this is not about the $20. This is about rewiring how your brain thinks about money. Let's go over how to set this up correctly, because the details matter. Step 1. Open a brand new savings account. Seriously. Not the one you've been moving money in and out of for years. That account has history and maybe some negative feelings attached to it. This new one starts fresh, at zero. Then, name it something meaningful. The Vault. Freedom Fund. Emergency Me. Finally not broke. Don't get caught up stressing about interest rates. That's just procrastination in disguise. Just open the account. Step 2. Choose your trigger threshold. This is what tells you when to make the transfer. If you have a regular paycheck, your trigger might be every payday. Simple. But if you do gig work, it might be something like every time I make $100 in a day, or after every completed project, or every time I get a payout over $150. The key is to make it simple and specific. Step 3, and this is the most important part. Do not automate it. I know that sounds completely backwards. We're told to automate everything, but you need to manually transfer that $20 every single time. Why? Because habits aren't built by automation. They're built by repetition and awareness. You need to see the number go up. You need your brain to connect the action of getting paid with the action of saving. I got paid, so I saved $20. That conscious, repeated action is how the habit sticks. Right now, some of you are probably thinking, Matt, $20 a week won't change my life. And you're right, it won't. But $20 is infinitely more than zero. And once you realize your life doesn't fall apart after losing $20, something changes. You start thinking, wait, I can do this. Then maybe one good week, you decide to move $30, then $40, then $50. Not because you have to, but because you want to. You want to protect what you're building. I've watched people go from saving literally nothing to saving over $200 a month, and it all started with just $20. This brings me to the confidence shift that no one talks about. When you're broke, your identity can become wrapped up in it. I'm bad with money. I can't save. But every successful $20 transfer quietly rewrites that story. You're no longer someone who can't save. You're someone who does. That identity shift is incredibly powerful. Studies on gig workers show that people with even $500 to $1,000 in emergency savings are 3 times more likely to increase their income within a year. Why? Because they have breathing room. They can turn down bad clients. They can invest in better tools for their business. They can finally think long-term instead of being stuck in survival mode. The $20 rule creates that initial breathing room. It works perfectly in the U.S. gig economy because your income might be unpredictable, but $20 is always $20. A $150 DoorDash shift, $20 saved, an $800 freelance project, $20 saved. Your income is inconsistent. Your habit isn't. That's the secret. Now let's be real. Life is going to hit you. You will need this money at some point. Car repairs, a broken phone, an unexpected medical bill, a vet emergency. Using the savings is not failure. It's the entire point of having it. You built this fund for exactly these moments. So you take the money out, handle the situation, and then you start again. And every time you rebuild, it gets easier because you've already proven to yourself that you can do it. So what does this look like over time? Here's the progression. Level 1 is just building the habit. Consistency matters way more than the amount. Just keep moving that $20. Level 2 is increasing the amount when it feels easy. Maybe on good weeks you bump it to $30, $40, or even $50. No pressure. Level 3 is reaching $2,000. That amount covers most real-world emergencies in the U.S. and Level 4, that's building 3 months of living expenses. That's real financial security. There's no rush to get there. Just follow the steps. Let me give you a real example. Someone I know started the $20 rule in January. By December, they had saved $1,180. During that year, they had 3 separate emergencies that cost them about $600 in total. They used their savings to cover it. They ended the year with $580 saved, and more importantly, no new debt. Their friend? They had the same emergencies, but they put it all on credit cards. Now they're carrying that balance, plus interest. Same year, completely different outcome. The $20 rule won't make you rich overnight, but it will move you from a state of panic to a state of peace, from thinking, I'm screwed, to I can handle this. In the United States, nearly half of all young adults can't cover a $2,000 emergency. Don't be in that half. Start with $20. Build the habit. Watch your confidence grow. Because the real question isn't whether the $20 rule works. It's whether you're finally ready to try it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.